Alltrust Insurance has one focus: employee benefits. We're devoted to educating, engaging, and empowering employer groups with the necessary resources to maximize their employee benefit plans, control costs, and become efficient consumers of healthcare. In our latest compliance podcast, Jeremy Hertz, Alltrust's very own Vice President of Compliance, is revealing a few tips on HR compliance from his unique perspective. Listen up, as you won't want to miss this opportunity to gain insight into some useful pointers that you can put into practice immediately.
Jeremy Hertz has experienced employment and labor challenges in two of the toughest arenas. As head of human resources for an organization with 1,500 employees, and in the courtroom as a labor and employment lawyer. Last month, Hertz brought more than 12 years of HR experience to Alltrust Insurance, filling the newly created position of Vice President of Compliance. After graduating from University of Florida Levin College of Law, Hertz practiced employment law with Ford & Harrison, a nationally recognized labor and employment law firm. Several years later, he joined a national nonprofit education system and spent 6 years as Vice President of Human Resources. Jeremy, while you practice employment law, what were some of the most common issues employers confronted by not taking appropriate preventative steps?
Well, there are a few of them. The first one is that employers need to make sure that they're paying their employees correctly. You should have an audit to verify and make sure that your salaried exempt employees are actually salaried exempt and that they are capable of not being paid overtime compensation. Too many employers find out too late that their salaried exempt employees are misclassified and should have been classified as non-exempt employees, and it can be dangerous for them from the perspective of attorney's fees and other costs that they otherwise wouldn't have had to deal with. So that's the first thing. Second, employers should create and institute a formal and interesting training program to make sure and engage their employees so that the employees feel like they have a fair shake in the say in the organization. They don't feel like they're getting a raw deal in regards to communication with their supervisors and such. And I think the final thing is just to make sure that employers understand that poor supervisors can result in litigation, and making sure that employees are trained properly and their supervisors are trained properly will limit that concern.
What are a few HR fundamentals to avoid ending up in labor litigation?
Well, as I said earlier, training. That's probably the most important thing, and that's both for employees and for supervisors. Most employees that end up litigating against a company are actually litigating against a supervisor that they didn't like. It's not usually their focus that the company or the organization is the cause of their problem. They have a dislike for their supervisor, and as a result, they sue. That's the way that they focus on it. The second is to create a culture of communication. Employees want to feel, again, that they're part of the process. They don't want to feel like they are blindsided by rules or regulations or other things that are within the organization. And as long as they feel like they're part of the process, then if something negative were to happen with them, at least they feel like they got a fair shake. And a lot of times that will allow them to accept whatever that discipline was or that separation from employment, and they'll be able to move on without litigating against the employer.
Having practiced employment law and served as a Vice President of Human Resources, you have a unique perspective. What were some key lessons learned about being VP of Human Resources that you didn't get practicing employment law?
I think the first thing is when I was a lawyer, most of what you do is clean up other people's messes. By the time it gets to you, there's been a mistake made or there's been an issue. And that part of it is tricky because you have to go back and see what may or may not have been done to cause that problem. When I was in the HR role, it turned the tables a little bit. I was able to see things from the beginning of the process and be able to hopefully keep situations from escalating to the point where litigation was imminent or actually ongoing. And that was a big difference because it allowed me to see the perspective of what HR professionals have to deal with on a daily basis at the very beginning to make sure and make the right selections as to how to proceed with employees, knowing that there's a risk that it could end up in litigation down the line. So it was more strategic in that regard.
Elaborate on your role and mission as VP of Compliance at Alltrust.
My approach is to be proactive. Again, having been an attorney, I had to do a lot of reaction when issues got to my desk. My focus is to work with clients so that they address those issues on the front end rather than having issues end up in litigation down the line. And part of that is just talking with them, getting an understanding of their organization, getting an understanding of the issues that they face, addressing those issues, again, on the front end to make sure that we strategically determine what are the right options to take and what are the risks associated with those options. And hopefully that will be an approach that will end up helping our clients not end up in litigation down the line.
The fact Alltrust created a position for Vice President of Compliance sends a message about employment trends. What is that message?
It used to be that providing benefits was enough for employers and for organizations, and now it's certainly a more holistic approach to dealing with the human resources side of organizations. Providing benefits is certainly a main focus for Alltrust, but you've got to marry that benefit with the technology associated with benefits these days, with the HR consulting side to make sure that discrimination and retaliation and other things like that don't occur. All of those things are aspects of the business side of HR that wasn't there before, that has expanded with the ACA and other laws that have come out recently. It's expanded the role of HR into more compliance. And our focus is to get into that area and be part of the back office of the Human Resources Department so that they have another resource to go to marry all of those various aspects of benefits together so that they can end up, hopefully, not in any kind of compliance issue or in litigation.
Alltrust is committed to providing our clients with exceptional support, and we deliver service with a passion unparalleled in the employee benefits industry. Please visit our website at www.alltrustinsurance.com to learn more about our company.